Welcome to the Coffee and Questions podcast. I am your host, Mikel, and my mission with this podcast is simple: to help realtors and loan officers across the world tap into the value Instagram can have for them and their business. To me, organic business that comes to us is the name of the game. On this show, you're going to hear from myself, other experts across social media, and also others that are just like you, selling real estate and doing loans and doing it at a high level on social media. Ask you that question to the person who's been in the industry for a long time and doesn't know in one sentence who they are and how they can help somebody. Kind of talk us through what you would say to them.
So it goes back to what I said initially, right? When I found that when I look at the elite players in the industry, they're doing the same stuff as those aspiring to be elite. They're both got a fancy website. They're improving their tech stack. They're, messing with the best CRM and all these integrations. They're updating their workflows. They're taking social media classes and improving their social presence, right? Both people doing the same thing. So then why are the people at the elite level soaring and in love with their jobs, and the people aspiring to be elite just kind of, they're making money, but they never find any sort of fulfillment or that stride? Because that's what we all really want, to become that effortless entrepreneur. You see them, it's just easy. It's just natural for them and they love it. They would do whether they got paid or not, right? That's really what we're after. So why is it only happening to some and the other? And it's basically what you just said, which is what the elite players did before they went out there grabbing all of those resources and preparing their stack. They did something very, very important, which was they took more time to figure out who they were, what the unique ability was, what they wanted to do, who needed it, and how they wanted that platform to look. And then they got a fancy website, and then they got their social presence with their social content, and then they built their team. And then, so they built a platform to share that unique ability with the world. It's their purpose, and we can all see it. It's freaking obvious when someone has built a business out of their purpose. You go down to those aspiring to be elite, there's nothing behind it. They have all the same stuff: website, CRM, everything, all the little tools, the knickknacks. But there's no passion behind it. There's no purpose behind it. There's no thing in there. It's just like a soulless machine, and everyone can tell, and it will always stay what it is. I'm not saying you won't make a ton of money. You can make 7 figures running a soulless machine. People do it all the time. I'm just saying, depends what game you're playing. I built that. And you know what happened when I built it? I wanted nothing to do with it. I said, hey, you guys run this place. I'm out of here. There was no purpose behind it. My job was done. It created an ATM that could then fund my passion. So I don't regret it, but I'm just saying you guys have got to find your thing, because the missing ingredient is this unspoken motive to get out there and help people. It makes you fearless. I am a timid person. People look at me and my muscles and my wealth, and they say, oh, he's not afraid of anything. Yeah, I am. You guys just don't know me yet. You haven't talked. The reason I have muscles, because I was insecure and I needed something so that people wouldn't find out how much of a sissy I was. That's why I started working out. That's why I have money. I got money so that you guys wouldn't find out how much of a weak softy I am, right? I did all these things to try and, so my point all being, how I found my confidence, my stride, my passion was finding my thing, because it turns you into a fearless person who just doesn't care. I'll get on podcasts. I'll put myself out there. I'll speak on stage because it's too important for me to not share this stuff with everybody. So that's the missing ingredient. Find your dang thing at all costs. Go all in. Spend 3-4 years finding it, because you'll cross the 7-figure mark the next year. I mean, Michelle, you're an example of this. Find your thing. Everything will fall into place. Just if I could tell anyone, go all in on finding your thing and find people who can help get it out of you.
Yeah. And this is something we were talking about in the pre-show a little bit, of how powerful it can be to have somebody that knows how to get that out of you. Yes. And, for me, being in business as long as I have, I mean, my business has certainly changed and developed over that time, but I don't even feel like I work half the time. Like, I'm working and I don't actually feel like I'm working. And Like I could be on a sales call trying to sell the Instagram Power Method course to somebody and just be like, I could talk to this person forever. Like, I just love this. And that's something where I don't think that happens when you are just collecting a paycheck. I certainly don't think it happens when you're trying to fit into a box that you don't belong into or you don't belong in. And I'm curious what your take would be on this, but as a coach, right, we're both coaches and we both spend a lot of time and a lot of our time helping others find these things. But I've always been told to ask yourself and end everything with a question, right? So if you end every thought, if you end every question that you ask a client with a question, the idea is that it's going to come back and the conversation is going to continue till eventually you get to the root cause of whatever the conversation's about. So maybe talk us through a little bit about what does that even start like, right? So I call you Roland and I'm like, okay, so I heard this. I know you're going to help me find my thing. How do we start?
So it's finding your thing, by the way, is the most challenging. It's harder than making $1 million. Way harder. It was making, in comparison to me finding my thing, finding my craft. There's nothing that took more work. So if you think that you're just gonna be able to like pay somebody, take a little course and get on like a handful of coaching calls or whatever and find your thing. Yeah. I mean, how many hours did it take to become a killer mortgage professional, killer real estate agent? A lot of time. And if you think finding your thing is going to be any less than that, you are high. That is just so wrong. It takes attention. Here's what I would say though. It's fun. It's not like everything else that you learned. It's extremely fun because even though you might be far away, every step closer feels like a zillion dollars. So it's enjoyable the whole climb. You've heard people describe that, right? Enjoy the process. And everyone's like, yeah, well, easy for you to say, like, I don't enjoy the process. Well, you're probably not finding your thing then, because finding your thing's really fun. I was not miserable for those 3 years on that journey. I was extremely excited about all the coaching, all the courses, all the groups I was involved with. It was very exciting, a little tastefully frustrated that I wasn't there yet. But at the same time, I say tastefully because it was a healthy motivation to be like, man, one day it's going to be like this. So how does that conversation start? You're already designed the perfect way that you need to be designed to do your thing. So that's where it looks really different. Is you're already the person, you already know and have all the passion and everything you need to do your thing. So the question isn't like, how do you develop it or find it? You already are it. The question is more so, what have you done to screw it up and hide and put yourself in weird boxes so that you can't do it? So the conversations, it's difficult to answer that question because it's a very, very different and unique conversation. Because I'm more curious, how have you been using your powers for your whole life? Because that's, to me, I can never tell you what your powers are and what your thing is. I can't tell you what your gifts are. It's impossible. I've never been a you. I've only been a me. So I can't know what it's like to be somebody with your powers. So I'm less interested in identifying your powers and reading your future and crystal balls and stuff. I just got to understand the whole way that InDesign formula works is, what have you been doing with your powers thus far? And the whole formula, and the reason we do it with a group of 15 other top producers, is everyone runs it through and you start to think, holy crap, and everyone can see your thing, but you can't. So they're all like sitting, because that's how InDesign works. In our 3 events, it's in that group setting, everyone's like, oh, this is that person's thing, because we all use the formula on it. And it's really obvious, but the person's thing, they can't see it because it's like, well, what do you mean? That's not a thing. That's this. And it's like, yeah, easy for you to say. That's natural for you. That's not natural for me. It's not natural for anyone else. It's easy for you. And so that's the problem with your thing, is you almost become less interested in it because we become addicted to this idea that it's got to be hard and challenging and brand new and all this stuff. We put all these rules on it. And then next thing you know, it's not your thing anymore. When it's usually that simple thing that you take for granted, and you just don't know how it can be used until someone shows you, like, hey, this is freaking unique. You need to do something with this. And then the second someone gives you permission, you're like, you know what? I do. So I know I didn't directly answer your question, but it's more complicated and simple, if that makes sense.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go follow my guests on social media. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please consider leaving us a review wherever you consume this content.